Hey guys, it's Kelly. I wanted to share my setup quickly. It's been a while since I shared and things have changed a bit. So I had, in the fall or in December, had set up 2018 in my planner. Realized pretty quickly I did not like my setup. I did have some things change. In January I did start a new role in my company, so my schedule changed a little bit, and really just the setup that was I thought would work and that was working before just wasn't working anymore. So I've been pretty quiet while I figure things out, but I've got a good rhythm now, so I thought I'd share what I'm doing. So I'm back in my purple Filofax Malden. I'm also using a passion planner. I was using this exclusively for a while. Now I'm using it in conjunction because I really found after using this for a few weeks that I really loved the timed vertical layouts. And there's a task list at the bottom of the page, but the tasks are not associated to the day necessarily. It's just one block for the week. And I really did like being able to have that task list for each day. And there just wasn't enough space to put all the tasks I wanted to write down. So this is staying more on my desk now as kind of a reference planner that's got a copy of everything in it, whereas this is my functional planner that I'm actually carrying around, you know, scribbling my messy notes in. And then the things I want to keep for sure, then I'll transfer over for the permanent storage. But for on the go, this is the guy. So here we go. Not too much has changed here. Pockets with some stickers. I like to have little cute functional stickers to keep things interesting. Some post-its. So that's there. This is a dashboard I made with one of those Filofax pockets that comes with it. So that's fun. And then this is just a funny little note that I wrote, if found, that's got my contact info. This other dashboard that I made has a picture of my daughter, just a fun little dashboard because I like that picture. On the back side of it, I'm not going to show because it has my personal info, but it is the personal info reference sheet that comes in the planner when you first buy it. I tend to destroy those somehow. I think I flip by them so often. So I just laminated it onto the back of the dashboard, and that way I don't have to worry about that getting destroyed. So then my calendar section I have split up a bit. Oh, this is a reference list I have. So this is just some 10 tips or habits for productivity. Nothing earth-shattering here. I forget if I got this from an article that I read or a video that I watched. But I like having it here just as a reminder. So if I'm feeling overwhelmed and I'm not sure where to start to really focus my thoughts, this is where I come. So that stays there. My calendar section, I used to have just one. Now I've actually broken it out into 3 sections. So I have my monthly overview, which I've always had. I have a legend. So these are my reoccurring tasks or appointments that I abbreviate so that I don't have to write out the full thing each time on these tiny little squares, so you can see, you know, SP for speech. I also color code, so my daughter is pink, my son is blue, I'm purple, and my husband is green, and my dogs, there we go, there's their medicine, my dogs are orange. So that way I don't have to write the names every single time. I can just look at it and I know from the color who that's referring to. So that works out pretty well. So this is the monthlies that I'm using. I've already set up, this is new, I just set up 2019 this week because I already have appointments filling in for 2019. So with school schedules already coming out and such, been filling that in as we go. For the weekly, I keep this little notepad here. I mostly use this for jotting down the meal plan for the week. I don't actually put it on the weekly pages until the day of because I do switch things around during the week depending on how busy we are on any given day. The weeklies that I'm using are Marcia Bermucci timed inserts. And so you can see it's that nice vertical timed layout that I like. So I can see across my week really easily. The weekends are on the side. There is a tiny little note section. This tends to be where I write down the meal during the week. So this way I can get an overview of my week. So here's a sample of this was this week. I tend to box in my work hours. So that way I could just see what's overlapping work and make sure I have a plan, for instance, for getting my daughter to gymnastics. So that is the weekly. And then for the daily, So, okay, so this weekly, haha, this is what I was using previously. I had already written out to week 12. So this was the very last one that I had printed. I think this is a Brandy Michelle's, or Brandy Michelle Plans printable. If I'm not using a timed layout, this is my preferred weekly format. So I can get an overview of the week here. I can't see that time overlap, and so when we have overlapping appointments, it is hard. I also hate if I fill in, like I've got a lot of stuff happening on Friday. So once I write all this down, what if I now have an appointment at 1 p.m.? I can't put it in here. It doesn't fit. So that drives me crazy, hence the timed vertical insert. But when I'm not using a timed insert, this is my preferred overview. For my daily, I'm using these daily printables from Alexis Miss Trenchcoat. Her shop is Charmed something. I apologize, but if you Google Miss Trenchcoat and Charmed, you're going to find it. I really like this daily format. So we've got the top 3. You guys know I'm big on the top 3. Got to have that. It's got that timed overview, so I can jot down my day right there. And then it's got a task list, so I can put in tons of tasks here, a few little blocks down here, a today thing. So I've done this a few different ways. If there's something I really want to remember, like we have to do, that'll go in the today thing so that it stands out from my top 3. But if not, then I'll do like I did here and put the temperature for the day. The weather's been crazy. Like it's cold one day and hot the next. So I try to plan ahead with my kids' clothes. So nice to check that. I have to check it every single day. So I put that in there if there's nothing else going on that day. If there is something else going on, I didn't actually write it down today, but I'll just kind of put it in the corner. So I really like this layout. This is working great for me. To-do list or to-do section is actually trackers. So this is a self-care tracker. You can see I didn't use it the first part of the month. So I just started with this setup again. I was using it earlier in the year and I was doing really great with these self-care items. And then I stopped using the tracker, and then guess what? I stopped doing the things. And so here we go. I'm doing the things. So this is a great way just to remind myself and make sure I don't neglect myself to take care of everyone else. This is another tracker that's specifically for cleaning. Again, didn't use it early in the month. Then I got back into this setup, loving it. It really does. My brain does need this. I thought I had those habits established and I didn't need the tracker. I need the tracker. So this is working out really good. GS is Girl Scouts. We'll skip over that section. It's just info for my Girl Scout troop. And then the fun section. This is actually a combination of things. This is our schedule for Faith Formation for next year is already out, so I got that there. And then also fun things like family trips, vacations. I'm not going to actually show those pages that have, you know, the more personal information, but, you know, here's the back of one of the trip planner pages. So planning a few vacations there. This is some notes I had from last Christmas of my son's really into trains. So I had looked up local train events that we could go to. We didn't get to do any of these, but I really would like to do it this year. So I kept it just so I don't have to research again what the options are. I can just Google these specific options, update the dates and the pricing, and see when we can go. So that's under my fun section. Very last, and doesn't even have a label, but it's just a few note pages where, you know, if I'm reading or watching a video, I'll just jot down some notes. So that's that. And here I have more stickers, combination of functional and cute, which is kind of what my planner tends to be. This is one of those little Moleskine chapter books. I had bought this for my traveler's notebook. It's the height of a pocket or an A6-ish, but it's more narrow. So I wanted to try it. Really, the narrowness didn't bother me. What bothered me was look how flat that spine is. You cannot get an elastic in there without beating up this cover. So I never used it in my traveler's notebook. What I'm using it for now, I just slip the back cover into here. And that way I have it with me. and it kind of blends in. It matches the colors, which I like. This is what I'm using to store like sensitive info. So whether it's a password to a website that I need to reference or something, I put it in here. I have the chapters, since this is the Moleskine chapter book, it has 5 chapter sections with a colored page divider. You can actually kind of see the blue pages there. The chapters are topics. So there's one for me that's personal or hobbies. There's one for my kids. And so if it's, you know, for instance, something I need to reference for my daughter's Girl Scout troop, it goes there. Things like that. So that's what that's for. Handy having that around because I'm tired of trying to track down that info or having to re-register everything or, you know, deal with that headache. So nice that I can just kind of tuck that in there. So that is it. That is what I'm using these days. She's pretty full, but comfortably full. Can still snap close. So hope that was helpful for someone, or at least interesting, or, you know, at the very least, not boring. Let me know if you have any questions. If anyone wants to know where some of those printables are from, some of the ones I didn't mention, just post a comment or something and I will look it up for you. Thanks.